Might be important for you as well.
Yeah, very important. Not going to ask you about Spygate.
Please do.
Leave that to Dom. Régis, firstly, nominated for Manager of the Season. 6 nominations. You must feel, whatever the outcome of who wins Manager of the Season, you must be very proud to be named one of those 6.
Yeah, really proud. And for me, for the club, the staff and the players, obviously, because it's a collective achievement. No matter the result at the end, it highlights once again the quality of the group and the season overall. Yes, the Premier League is a roller coaster with highs and lows. But at the end of the season, I think this kind of recognition is really important for us.
I know there's still a couple of games to go, but now you know that you know you're going to be playing Premier League football next season, and you've had a chance to sort of digest that. Do you ever take a moment to reflect on how successful this season's been for you and what you've achieved?
Yeah, it's always hard because we are already in the next game and the next season and so on, but probably I will have 1 week to appreciate this moment, and after that go again with new goals, new problems, new opportunities, because it's our life.
Knowing you over these last couple of years, I suspect that come the end of the season it will just be maybe a day, as you say, to reflect, that you'll be back straight to work, back at your computer.
Because I like it. It's a passion before everything. So for me, it's not difficult to talk about football and project and Sunderland now, because it's a passion and it's not really a job. It's demanding, but it's a pleasure before everything.
Talking of the football, last weekend's game against Manchester United, I think you played some of the best football you played this season at times in that game, and there was a clear step up in intensity and energy in the way that you took the game to Manchester United. Was that something that you had purposely worked on in the week leading up to the game, something a little bit different?
Yes, it's a dynamic in the season, so it's not always easy to maintain the same level because it's about momentum, ours and the opponents as well. And I'm really pleased by this end of the season, even if we didn't win. Created 3 big chances, conceded only 1 at the end. Should have been a defeat, because football is like that, relentless. But overall, I'm really pleased by the performance of the squad, because we showed improvements in many areas. So still strong out of possession, with the ability to press high, to control the opponent in the mid block, to protect our goal, and with the ball we are really good. And so it means that we are improving. So it's not a question just of just key moments in the season. We are working hard, and the level of the squad is getting better. It's a small reward against Manchester United, but it shows us as well that the end product is a game changer. So it's probably the next step now. We have 2 games to solve this problem, and overall is also the direction of our project.
Does it reflect something I think you touched on last season and you touched on this season, is that you build in stages over the season. You can only evolve, if you like, and it takes time to do that. This is the next step in that evolution for you to play this high energy football.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a balance, and it's always connected with the opponent. But I think the way we played was really well connected with the identity of the club and the evolution of the team, with at times more control, but the ability also to create chances, to accelerate when it's on, and being consistent with big energy out of possession as well.
Big energy did show against Manchester United. that towards the end of the game, players did start to visibly tire. Is that something you're very conscious of?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it was demanding. Manchester were good. We control the main part of the game, but was obvious just with a small drop of quality in decision making or less composure, for example, that they got quickly their opportunities. And it's the Premier League. So at that level, it's about being at 100% all the time. When you drop, you feel the threat immediately, and it was the case. So after that, it's the end of the season. We can understand that it's not easy to maintain the level over 100 minutes.
You've played Everton twice this season. They've both been tight games. Interestingly, both of you named strong teams in the FA Cup when you played there.
Yeah.
I guess you expect it to be tight again this weekend.
Yeah, they are a good team. Intense, direct, good in transition, well organized, with strong experience in the Premier League, and the atmosphere is really good at the stadium. So we are looking forward to the game because it's going to be a big game once again, and I think it's really positive to conclude this season with a new challenge at that level.
You've seen a lot of stadiums this season. How impressed were you with the Hill Dickinson Stadium?
Yeah, it's a good stadium, new stadium, but still with this atmosphere, and it's not always easy to keep the identity of the club with a new stadium, and I think they found a good solution here.
So we talked about Everton a few moments ago. We talked about a side vastly experienced in the Premier League, perhaps none more so than the man in the opposition dugout in David Moyes. Just wanted to get your opinion on his career, his success, and the respect you have for David.
Yeah, consistency at that level is, I think, the key point. If you can stay a manager through different experiences over many years, it shows your quality and the ability to manage different problems, different environments, and to keep the energy as well, because it's really demanding. So, well done.
Well done indeed. We talk about this final couple of games towards the end of the season. What are your motivating factors? I know there's talk about Europe, which I won't press you on, don't worry, but I know it's perhaps a massive thing for the Sunderland fans to finish above Newcastle United. Do those kind of factors come into your head?
We want to win the next game. I think if you start to look too far ahead, it's a distraction. And so you can speak with your friends, with the fans, and think it's just normal because it's about ambition. But our job is to stay focused on the game plan, on the problems you have to fix in real time, opportunities you might take as well. And if you think about something else, it's a distraction. So it's important to stay focused and to keep this energy, this ambition on the game. And I think it was the case against United. I hope it will be the case against Everton and against Chelsea at home for the last game.
And when you do reflect, when you do take that day, perhaps a week, when you do get that time to reflect on this season, the success that you've brought here and the performances that you've put out there, how much do you put down to that start that you had? You lost twice in 11 games, and the meticulous preparation that you put in to the summer, how vital was that for you to reap the rewards as captain?
Yeah, it was. It's always important to start well, and especially with 14 new signings for a newly promoted side in the Premier League. So to get the confidence, the belief in what we are doing together, if you start well, it's much better, and it was the case. After that, the Premier League is so demanding. If you have too many weaknesses, the level will show. Absolutely. So we struggled at times, like as expected, I would say. But I'm really pleased as well about the progression of the team, the way we went through difficult moments. Because when it's tough, you see the character, you see the consistency, you see the strength of the project, and it was really powerful. Yeah.
Hi, Régis. We've seen teams underperform against expectations this season, like Chelsea, Tottenham perhaps, others who've overperformed against expectations, like Bournemouth. Would you say Sunderland are the biggest overperformers this season against what was expected?
Hard to say. If we speak about the expectations at the beginning of the season, it was just the retention, and the odds were really low. So it's a big achievement. I think it will be the case for Leeds as well. So we are really proud of this achievement. After that, we never know the real potential of the team until the end of the season. And like I said just before, I'm really pleased with the dynamic as well. So it's not just a good start. It's something consistent with a clear evolution throughout the season. So I'm really pleased with that.
Yeah, on that, do you think that the team is getting better, and where is that most visible, and I guess what's still missing?
Yeah, it's about culture. First of all, I think the collective culture now is getting better. We can speak about different layers of details. It wasn't the case at the beginning of the season, so the exposure to different problems and big teams helps. The evolution of the players as well. Many players didn't play before in the Premier League. Now they have 25, 30, 35 games of experience, and it's a big achievement for them as well, because it wasn't done before. And until you don't experience it, you don't know if you will be successful or not. So it's really positive. And after that, it's about future. So we'll see.
Régis, what have been your biggest takeaways from this first season in the Premier League in terms of making that jump from the Championship to the top flight?
I would say identity and belief in what we are doing together. It means being open to the mistakes and the ability to solve problems, to evolve, to progress, to improve our club, our team, my job, myself. And it was the mentality during this season. So those two areas, identity and willingness to improve, we are really strong this year, and I hope it will be the case next year.
You mentioned yourself there. I think that's quite interesting. On you personally, how do you think you've developed as a coach and leader person with this season?
With one more year, I think every year is totally different. So you can't replicate the previous year to be successful in real time. So I keep evolving, I keep learning, I keep staying curious. I think it's probably the main point. And after that, the evolution of the season, the evolution of the project, people around me, I'm always evolving. So it's probably the main point.